I'm here with Lenin Vazquez-Toledo. He's a philosophy PhD student. And Lenin, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing
Yes, of
today?
course. I'm doing all right. Not too bad. Pretty well. How about
Awesome.
you?
Good.
Good.
Especially now that's getting a little cooler. It feels really great.
I know. I know. I'm here for that.
Yeah. So in one of our meetings, or probably more than one, you've mentioned something that really got my attention. You always say that when you come to our meetings, it feels like doing therapy for writing because you have this, we talk through uh your structure, your content, what you want to write, and so on. And it always feels like a moment that you have like a haha moment, or there's just some sort of like relief from what you've been working on. Can you tell us something about it?
Yes, of course. So I feel like I feel like whenever I go to WSIP, I get more than I bargained for. Like most of the times, I try to have a list of questions or something that I want to go over with you guys. But but the reason why I always get more than I bargained for is because I feel like there's more to writing um, than just you know the actual words in a paper. Um, you also have it also has to do with like how you think about it, and I feel like more often than not, you will be giving me suggestions not only for how to change a particular product, like a piece of writing, or how to change a particular outline for a paper, something like that. You're also going to give me suggestions for how to reframe some of the approaches that I take to writing. Like I feel like I remember like more often than not, I would tell you how I've been struggling with a particular piece, maybe bringing an idea, um, bringing clarity to an idea, or maybe like with organizing it, or maybe like planning something, and then I think that with you, and also I've seen it with other of the writing specialists, like there's going to be a suggestion for like, hey, did you notice that you said this? How about if you like see it in this other way? And like that, and I love those suggestions because they, whether or not about the piece of writing that I present to you, it has to do with like how I approach it. Like suggestions like, um, have you noticed that probably like you may have like a extra pressure here to do this when actually you said that your goal was this other one, or or have you noticed that this is an approach that seems to be working for you, but you're insisting on going for the other one? Um, like there's always, I think that we always end up talking about um, the larger picture of writing. And it sounds like therapy just because it has the same effect that, I mean, regular therapy, I suppose. It just makes you question and be like, oh, I didn't notice that. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it also gives like writing therapy to me because, and I mean, it has changed so much of like the way in which I approach things now.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So do you think it helps that, I'm learning from you during our sessions as well? And so because sometimes I come in with the sessions with you and I do not know parts of the opera or a philosophical approach to that. So my questions sometimes come from the perspective, I do not know. Can you please explain? So do you think it's also beneficial from you to get a perspective from someone that is not a philosopher, but it can help you again to see the another approach, like another view that you had not considered because you're so ingrained into what you already know as a philosopher.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I see the perspective that you bring not as the perspective of a non-philosopher, but as the perspective of someone who's familiar with so many ways of writing. Like when I was at the summer workshop, and I felt like it was so valuable to like meet writers from all over the campus, working on nursing stuff or engineering and all sorts of things. And so I think that the relevant thing is not so much that you're not a philosopher, but more like you have developed this openness to tackle all different kinds of writing, which is like so. valuable, because then it brings it, it's you're then able to see the glitches in each particular style, I suppose. And it definitely is what happens with me. I feel like um, your experience with working with people in humanities, people in sciences, like that gives a very distinctive sort of feedback, which, you know, like you want to have clarity in most fields. And I think that you're able to like determine like, well, if you want clarity, if you want like, if you want to like these kind of features in your writing, you know, like you can bring that about really well, because you're not specialized only in one kind of writing. You're
Right.
specialized in like, you're exposed to so many kinds of writing. I
Right.
find it incredibly valuable.
Yeah. So, and the last thing you mentioned how you, when you joined the Graduate Writing Institute over the summer,
Yeah.
you worked with other students that were in different fields. So also, how does it feel working with students who are not philosophers as well? Because again, you also read about their work, how reading somebody else's work not in your field can help you as well.
Yeah. I mean, I feel, I think that the thing that was extremely helpful from, was extremely valuable from participating in that workshop was, of course, seeing like how other people write, and it's like a reality shock. I mean, it gives you a reality check. Sorry, in the sense that, and that gives you a shock, because most of the time I'm just writing in philosophy, in the philosopher's way, but seeing how other people do it and the particular struggles, like it kind of reminds you that, oh, maybe the things that I take for granted are actually very specific to my field. But I think that the thing that I enjoy the most from the participation component of the workshop is that I realized that the things that I'm working on, like how to explore my writing, how to discover what are the things that I like and what are the things that work for me. Like it was so affirming to see that this is something that people in other fields are also working on. To see that there are other people in a very similar kind of journey. Um, so yeah, I mean, seeing that in seeing the writings was really it gave me a different perspective, but also it was so brilliant to see that I'm I'm not the only one, and also seeing that their concerns were like so similar to mine, right? Like from planning a paper to like editing a particular bit, like oh, it really gave me like a more yeah. I was able to see how writing also is like present in other fields, and very much present in all these people that I met. It was absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. Well, we know that the writing process, it's, you could keep writing and rewriting and changing. So I'm sure that we will experience a lot more aha moments
Oh yeah,
for our writing, and we will see what maybe the final product will be for
oh
each
yeah, I
piece of
know.
writing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here for getting the final product, and also like to see how else I'm gonna develop as a writer, because it's just been wonderful. Like all these months that I've been working with you guys, yeah, it's been very transformative, I should say.
Well, thank you very much, Lenin, for being here, and we'll see
No,
you
thank
soon.
you. Yeah, see you soon. Bye
Bye.
bye.